guys, let's say we are running a franchise roll day. We are selling rice paper rolls and other Vietnamese food. As a manager, we have to make the roster for our friendly staff, and we notify that someday we are overstaffed, which means we waste a lot of money, while another day we are understaffed, leading to lower customer service and unhappy customers. The challenge is customer traffic and sales change daily, and we can't predict exactly how busy we will be. So the problem we want to solve is how can we create a smarter, more flexible staff roster that match actual demand instead of just guessing. This is where Monte Carlo simulation come in. It helps us simulate thousands of sales scenarios based on our best data, then estimate how many staff we actually needed. So what is Monte Carlo simulation? Monte Carlo simulation is a method used to analyze situations where random variables affect outcome. By simulating thousands of possible combinations using probability distribution, it helps estimate the range and likelihood of results in uncertain environment. So, who gonna use them? In finance, they use it in portfolio risk, value at risk, business operation used to inventory planning, profit forecasting, project management used to estimating project completion time, engineering, reliability testing, system failure rate. And we have 4 main steps to do the simulation. Step 1, define the problem. Step 2, assign input distribution. Step 3, run many simulations. And step 4, analyze the output. So now jump to step 1, define the problem. As you can see here, we have some business rule. Roller 1 have to start a roll to 8:30. Kitchen hand have to start 10 or before that. And kitchen always have at least a person at any time until close. There are at least 2 people at the front. Closing time must have 2 people, one close inside, one outside. And our problem is how to optimize staff roster based on the total sales. Let's move to steps to assign input distribution. As you can see here, I have the sale for a whole year from April 2024 to March 2025. So now let's starting by analyzing some data about the sale. I do calculate the average sale by using pivot chart. The range I choose in here is table 1 and I put the result in the existing worksheet. Yeah, and as you can see it in here, I put the weekday to the axis and the value I choose the average sale. The table I have like 7 day of week and then it's average sale for each day. And then I do the same step to calculate the standard deviation of each day per week. And instead of choosing the average sale for the value, I choosing standard deviation. So I got the table with 7 day per week and each standard deviation for each day. Next, I'm gonna checking the normal distribution for the sale in a year. So I just choose a whole sale and then create a histogram of it. As you can see here, the histogram shape is like the bell curve, so we can assume that this sale is normal distribution. In this sheet, I have a table that already categorize the sale by the day of the week. So I'm gonna create a histogram to be better understand how sale behave throughout the week. Starting with Monday, you can see that most sales cluster between roughly 2,700 and 4,000 with a small tail toward higher values. This shows that Monday is relatively stable, not too risk, which make is a good candidate for light adjustment in the roster. 7 histogram for 7 days of the week. With this histogram, I think it can help us to come up with some plan to adjust our roster. As you can see in here, Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. The sale range is not fluctuated a lot, so I think we can consider reduce small staffing on those days. On Wednesday, the sale was slightly more variable, so I think we can reduce the staff, but we should to adjust with cautions. However, on Thursday, you can see in here the range of is quite wide. The range is quite wide, so make it too unpredictable. I think I'm gonna keep full staff during that day. And on Friday, the sales saw a balanced distribution where reducing one shift seemed reasonable. I think so, yeah. And on Saturday, I think because of its high demand, you can see here the sales really large. So I think I'm gonna keep full staff. Now let's move to step 3. As I mentioned before, the cell was normal distribution. So we're gonna create random cell value to present different possible day using the formula norm.rnv, then a random, then average cell, then standard deviation. Because we have 7 days of the week with different average sale and standard deviation, so we have to create a simulate sale for each weekday instead of the whole week. This helps us to adjust our roster more accurately. After calculated the sale for each day of the week, we use the sum function to calculate a whole week sale. So we can use it to calculate the profit later on. Now let's move to our current roster. As the business rule we mentioned before, we have 2 roller, 2 front, and 1 kitchen. From Sunday to Wednesday, we close at 6, and the total hour that we have to pay is 29.5. Now let's move to Thursday. We have 2 roller, 2 front, 2 kitchens, and we close at 8:30. The total hour we have to pay for them is 42.5. And Friday, Saturday, we close at 8. We have 3 front instead of 2, and the total hour is 42. Because of the histogram we mentioned before, so I have 3 main ways to improve our roster. Plan A is slide cut on every day. Plan B is slide cut on every day and Friday optimal. Plan C is oppressive cutting. To be more specific, on plan A, we're gonna produce the total working hour by 1 to 1.5 hours per day, and we mainly produce from the front and the kitchen. And the green ones is where I'm gonna adjust the roster later on. For plan B, I will do the same with plan A, but on Friday, instead of produce 1.5 hours, I'm gonna produce 6 hours, because in comparison with Thursday and Saturday, Friday have lower average sale and standard deviation. So I think there will be lower risk when I reduce the total amount of working hour on Friday. About plan C, I'm gonna reduce the working hour as much as possible by following the business rule. After adjusting the roster, we have the total amount of working hour per week for each plan, so we can calculate the labor force by multiply the staff wage with the total working hour. As here, I assume every staff have the salary which is equal to $25 per hours. If we take it into real life, the labor cost will be fluctuate due to the difference in the wage of each staff. After half the labor cost, we can calculate the profit for each plan by take the total sale of each week and minus it by the labor cost of each plan. For example, if we want to calculate the profit of plan A, we take the total sale in J12 and minus it with the labor cost of plan A, which is E5, and then we have the profit for plan A at that week. Next, we have to calculate the average profit for each plan. We use the formula average and choose the range that we want to calculate. Then we calculate the risk of plus percent. We have to make sure our profit more than 0. So we use the formula count if, then choose the range, and then 0, and we divide by 1000, which is our observations. And we have to calculate the standard deviation of the profit as well to see how it's spread on the histogram. As you can see here, plan C bring the biggest profit, then plan B, plan A, and our current plan. But should we choose plan C immediately without consider other factors? So as you can see in here, in our plan C, we try to cut the working hour as much as possible, but we forgot to consider about the staff status. If they are getting exhausted, they will affect the quality of customer service and it will lead to the unhappy customer and it may affect our business. About plan A and plan B, the profit we earn from it is not as much as plan C, but it's still higher than our current plan and it still maintain a good customer service, so we can consider to choose plan A or plan B to conduct in our business. However, plan B earn higher profit, so I think the ideal plan for our business is plan B. To sum up, by using Monte Carlo simulation, I was able to find that Plan B offered the best balance between cost efficiency and service quality, making it the most practical solution for our business.